2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Standout 7.
This week saw tributes to murdered MP Sir David Amess, COVID cases continuing to climb while Boris sticks to Plan A, tributes to former Secretary of State Colin Powell, and a tragedy on a New Mexico film set as Alec Baldwin fatally shot a woman. This is the Standout 7 from the Smart 7, and don't forget to hit the follow button to get daily updates at 7 a.m. There was a minute's silence and prayers on Monday in the House of Commons as MPs gathered to pay tribute to Sir David Amess, who died in what police are calling a terrorist attack on Friday afternoon. Boris took the podium to make an announcement that saw a lifelong dream of Sir David's finally become a reality.
I am happy to announce that Her Majesty has agreed that Southend will be accorded the city status it so clearly deserves.
Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer offered his sympathies.
On behalf of the entire Labour Party, I want to lean across, to reach across, and to acknowledge the pain that's felt on the opposite benches, and I do.
And the sister of murdered MP Jo Cox, who now sits in a seat of Batley and Spen Kim Leadbeater, shared the pain that those events caused and offered sympathies to Sir David Amess's family.
I remember very clearly the moment I took the phone call saying she had been attacked. I remember physically trembling and the visceral pain that overtook me. And it breaks my heart to think that another family has had to experience that phone call and the nightmare which follows.
Wednesday saw Prime Minister's question time in the Commons after a bruising few days since the death of Sir David Amess. Boris was straight back to finger-pointing and his usual bluster.
Because that was one of the most important things this government passed and which that party opposed.
Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer was not in the mood.
Really? After the week we've just had, I really don't want to descend to that kind of knockabout.
But he did want to know what the government is doing about enacting the online safety bill.
As we were paying tribute to Sir David on Monday, Telegram users could access videos of murders and violent threats against politicians, the LGBT community, women and Jews, as we were paying our respects. Tough sanctions are clearly needed. Yet under the government's current proposals, directors of platforms failing to crack down on extremism would still not face criminal sanctions. Why is that?
As confirmed COVID cases this week hit 50,000 a day, Professor Danny Altman, who's an immunologist at Imperial College London, says the UK is falling behind other European countries as cases surge.
I feel very worried. We normally don't tolerate avoidable deaths that would be easily avoidable with quite simple mitigations. I think we've done less well than some other countries in terms of getting boosters into people.
Boris, however, says the plan is still to stick with the plan and that the best thing people can do is to get themselves the booster jab.
We're continuing with the plan that we set out in July. The numbers of infections are high, but we're within the parameters of what the predictions were, given the steps that we've taken. So we're sticking with our plan. I think the most important thing people can do now is just get that booster jab.
Keir Starmer says the booster programme's moving too slowly and the protective wall the vaccine was supposed to provide is at risk of crumbling.
The booster programme has slowed down so much that at this rate we're not going to complete it until spring of next year. So the government needs to drive those numbers up to at least 500,000 vaccines a day, and that can be done.
The death was announced on Monday of Colin Powell, former four-star general and the first African-American Secretary of State under George W. Bush. He was involved in both Iraq wars and later saw the push to invade in 2003 based on faulty intelligence as a blot on his record. He'd been battling cancer and died from complications after he contracted COVID-19. Vice President Kamala Harris took a moment to list his many achievements.
He is the first black man to be chairman of the Joint Chiefs, National Security Advisor, Secretary of State. He was, by everything that he did and the way he did it, inspiring so many.
It was arguably his decision to go against the Republican Party and endorse then Senator Barack Obama that helped get the young Democrat elected. Here's Colin in full flow on Meet the Press in 2008. Rest in peace, Colin.
I think he is a transformational figure. He is a new generation
coming onto the world stage, onto the American stage, and for that reason, I'll be voting for Senator Barack Obama.
Still to come on the Standout 7, Alec Baldwin in on-set tragedy in New Mexico, and Sir David Attenborough awards the Earthshot Prizes. Right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. There was a tragic event on a movie set in New Mexico late on Thursday. Actor Alec Baldwin, filming a western called Rust, fired a prop gun on set which killed director of photography Halnia Hutchins. CNN's Sarah Sidner had more details on the breaking news.
According to investigators, this prop gun that Alec Baldwin was apparently holding, it was obviously fired. They're trying to figure out what kind of projectile came out of the gun. But there was also the director of this film that he was working on called Rust, that they are filming. 48-year-old director Joel Souza has also been hit.
Sunday night saw the awarding of the first Earthshot Prize. It's an initiative from Prince William and David Attenborough to reward and support those who are working to develop solutions to help the environment. The inaugural ceremony took place at Alexandra Palace, with 5 winners each picking up £1 million. Prizes went to projects in Milan, Thailand, India, the Bahamas and to the Republic of Costa Rica. Sir David Attenborough praised the innovation but warned the world needs to take action.
They're all building optimism by finding innovative and brilliant solutions to the world's challenges. And they all give us hope, which we are told springs eternal. But we don't have eternity. We need to do this now and over the next 10 years. And if we do put our minds to it, I believe we can do that.
Adele's been proper busy with the launch of her new single and new album. The album 30 officially drops in a month's time, but she's been all over the place on Instagram Live, on BBC Radio's 1 and 2 in the same morning, and now she's busy filming for British Vogue. We're not quite sure why, but she agreed to do something called the Great British Taste Test. It goes a little something like this. Adele, in a fancy dress, puts on a blindfold and eats the kind of food you'd get in a roadside cafe.
Is this a fry-up? It's a fry-up. British bacon! Well, see, this might be controversial because I like Worcester sauce on my beans. Just like a little dabble. Heinz ketchup. A bit like Beyonce has hot sauce in her bag, I have Heinz ketchup.
This has been the Standout 7, the best of the week from the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. with the Sunday 7. Have a great rest of your weekend. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.